Filling out the Let Me Decide form should not be taken lightly. The individual should take their time, think carefully about each section. A few helpful steps should be taken before beginning. A proxy is someone that the individual trusts to help implement the decisions taken and recorded by the Advance Care Directive. This person will act on your behalf if you are mentally incapable of doing so at a later point. The document should be read carefully in advance, and if there are any terms that aren't fully understood, the family doctor or healthcare professional should be consulted. It's important that the decisions being made are understood by those that they will affect. The individual should ensure that the decisions being recorded are being taken without external pressure and by their own free will. If a doctor disagrees with the decision, this can give the individual a chance to get a second opinion. The introduction states why you want to complete an Advance Care Directive. It states clearly that the directive is only to be used in a situation where you are unable to communicate for yourself and revokes the authority of any previous documents that have been created in the past. This section involves the completion of a chart that gives detailed instructions about the kind of treatment you desire in the case of a life-threatening illness or cardiac arrest. It also allows you to state your wishes surrounding feeding, CPR, and personal care. These wishes are stated within the context of whether or not you, at the time of illness or cardiac arrest, are in a condition that you would or would not find acceptable. We will now see a demonstration of this section of the form being completed. Before beginning, the nurse conducts a test to ensure that the person completing the form fully understands the terms.
So, Bill, we're going to talk about our Advance Care Directive,
Right.
or the Let Me Decide, where you and I discuss it, and you tell me what your wishes are for your end-of-life care. So, does the Advance Care Directive deal with your health?
Yes.
It does, yeah. So, does the Advance Care Directive deal with property?
No.
No. So, would a proxy decision maker make any decisions for you if you were clear-headed?
No.
That's right. So, would your proxy decision maker ever be asked to make a decision on your behalf if you were in a coma?
Yes.
That's right. Is it important that your proxy decision maker understands your directive well?
It is, yes.
It's very important. Yeah, that's very good, Bill. Thank you. We'll talk now about reversible and irreversible conditions. Remember we spoke about those before,
That's
Bill?
right, yes.
And we'll just go through it again now and see if you understand that. So do people usually recover from an irreversible condition?
No.
No, they don't, yeah. Is Alzheimer's disease considered to be a reversible condition?
No.
That's right, yeah. So do people usually recover completely from a reversible condition?
They do.
Yeah, they do, of course. So, can pneumonia normally be cured by treatment with antibiotics?
It can,
And
yes.
it can normally, yeah, normally can. Does this Advance Care Directive that we're going to make now allow you to state your wishes for your care in the future if your health became much worse and if you, Lord forbid, got an irreversible condition?
It does.
It does. That's exactly what it's for, Bill. It's for the day, Lord forbid that it will come, that you will be no longer able to articulate or say what your wishes would be. So we're doing it now while you're well and able to tell me.
Yes,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. You scored very well now in your understanding of the Advance Care Directive.
Right.
So I think we can go ahead and fill up the form if
The
you're
form.
happy to do that.
Right.
Yeah. So, Bill, the first part of the form I'm going to deal with there is about your wishes for your health care if you became suddenly ill, or now if you became ill, say maybe tomorrow or the next day. What would you want for yourself in that case? So we'll just look at the choices first.
Available, yeah.
Yeah, if you became suddenly ill, and you had a life-threatening illness, and what choices would you think you'd like for that? We have palliative. You know, we talked about palliative care, where you'd stay here and be nursed by us,
Yes,
and we'd keep you comfortable and pain-free. Then limited, you might have to go to the hospital maybe for an IV infusion or a blood transfusion or X-rays or
Right.
tests, but you would be coming back here to us. Surgical is obviously where you'd have major surgery, and then you'd probably have to go to intensive care after that to recover. So what do you think would be the best option for you there, Bill?
limited care.
Limited care, I would
Yeah.
say that would be fine too. And you know, as your bed will always be here, and you go up to the hospital, and hopefully they'll fix you up and send you back to us. We spoke about cardiac arrest before, or when your heart stops, and then
Right.
therefore your breathing stops as well. So we spoke about that before, and your wishes for you told me that you didn't want to be resuscitated. Is that
No.
still correct, Bill?
That's correct.
Yeah, even now you still wouldn't want to be resuscitated.
No.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. And then we spoke about feeding, Bill, and you understood that basic feeding was just feeding from a spoon. And
Which is more acceptable.
yeah, which is more acceptable. You said what about you understand that tube feeding goes into your stomach
I
and
do,
all
of
that?
course, yeah.
Yeah. So what would you want in the line of feeding?
Basic feeding.
Basic feeding,
Yeah.
yeah, we discussed all that, yeah. So, Bill, that's fine. Just read what I've written there. So, just go through that there now. Make sure you're happy with that. So, you'd have limited care if you became seriously ill.
And the favourite, no CPR.
Definitely don't want the CPR and the basic feeding. Are you happy to sign up that that's what
Well, of
your
course,
wishes
yeah.
are at the moment?
The personal statement section provides a list of possible disabilities for you to declare that you would find acceptable or unacceptable. The personal statement can be used to state wishes regarding any other area of health or personal care not covered in the directive, including wishes surrounding housing, blood transfusion, organ donation, and cremation or burial. It's important that you discuss the personal statement with a proxy, ensuring that both you and your proxy are on the same page in understanding the terms stated.
Do you remember we talked about an unacceptable quality of life or unacceptable condition, irreversible condition where there was no returning from that, and that your prognosis would be very poor? Do you remember we talked about that
I do indeed,
earlier?
yes.
Do you remember, what did you say to me that you would find unacceptable or an unacceptable quality of life for you?
First and foremost, dementia, not knowing what is happening around me.
Yes.
Alzheimer's disease. Being tube fed. And if I were bedridden.
Having completed the personal statement and with an understanding of what an unacceptable condition of health looks like to the individual, the healthcare chart is then completed again, this time within the context of an unacceptable condition of health.
So we'll go back now to looking at filling out this section. Say later on, much later on, if your condition became irreversibly worse, as we said here, and you told me that if you had dementia or if you had to be tube fed and if you're bedridden, that these would be unacceptable conditions to you.
Correct.
Isn't that right? So in that case, Bill, I just want to go through the four options again as to what you would like if that was the scenario. In that case, would you like palliative care limited care?
Palliative care.
Palliative care, I would say. I don't think you'd be going for surgical care in that
No.
state because
wouldn't
your
be
quality of life would be so bad anyway,
You wouldn't require it anyway.
and it would be probably futile in that case.
Yes.
You know. So you go for palliative
Palliative
care,
care, yes.
and you know in palliative care you would be nursed here, you'd be kept very comfortable and pain-free.
Correct.
When it comes to cardiac arrest or when your heart stops and your breathing stops, in that situation, what would you like?
No CPR.
No CPR. No CPR. And the feeding section again, Bill, would you like basic feeding or tube feeding?
Basic feeding.
basic feeding. That's good, Bill.
For
Yeah,
the
I'll write that
choice.
down.
Let Me Decide uses correct medical terms in order to avoid confusion or misunderstanding. This section contains an explanation of these terms for your benefit while completing the form. This section contains the names, addresses and telephone numbers of your family doctor, proxy and witnesses. This section is very important in that it allows the people named to be reached in an emergency.
I find it comforting to know that my wishes will be carried out in accordance with the care directive,
Yeah,
and I'm happy about that.
good.